Good evening. I'd like to call the October meeting of the Board of Police Commission to order. We will start with Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. To welcome our liaison with the police Board of Selectmen, Al Goldberg. Thank you for attending. Amy, glad we're hooked in. So I think we're ready to go. Motion to accept our September minutes.
Motion to accept the September 11th minutes. Any corrections, addendums?
Any changes?
None. All in favor?
Aye.
So accepted.
Public comments. Public is unfortunately absent from this meeting, so we'll pass on that. Chief's report.
Okay, good evening, everybody. We'll start with the budget. You have the handouts. I'm sure you maybe have some questions, but before you do, just a couple of notes I'd like to add to that. Officer, part of the, you'll see which at this time when we're down officers, we see an increase in the overtime. I just want to, some of the factors that will be changing as of the 27th of October is that Officer Dunn will be joining us. He's he's starting to move from Charleston back up to Madison. He's going to be required to go to approximately 120 hours of post-training, and then he's going to have to, we're going to have to do the FTO program with him. That's what they asked, and we asked permission for comparative certification from post. So that's great news. On the same day, Officer Raccio and Officer Russo are on their own. They're done with the FTO program. So that's pretty good that we now net two bodies back on the road. I'm excited for, and that course will reduce some of the overtime.
It's mid-October. When did you say the date?
27th of October.
27th.
That's the plan.
Okay, I know not all of the commissioners had the opportunity to meet Mr. Dunn, but those of us who did participate in the interview, this is a very impressive, articulate individual with 5 years experience in Charleston. So he's looks like he'll be a terrific addition to the already excellent staff we have. So Captain, please accept our congratulations on you and Captain York in terms of the recruitment effort. It was a terrific find. I mean, obviously once you have the name, there's a marketing and a recruitment and a sales aspect even while we're evaluating. But he really looks like he'll absolutely fit in with the caliber of officers we've been seeking. So it's great news.
Okay. Additionally, we have we're still down 2 officers, and we have a position in January. So, and I'll have Doug. You'll speak later to the recruitment.
Sure.
I believe we're going to the Chamber of Commerce in Middletown. We're going to be attending their program in the state. Level 1 has been canceled and postponed. One that we did last year. Also, which is substantial for me, is that the training is almost doubled. The fees we pay for training have almost doubled, and I wish they would coincide that when we're planning our budgets, but they don't. They drop it on us. So what costs us $300 now costs us $700. But Doug, myself, and Jeremy are going through our in-service. It's $2,100 for us. Something that normally would have cost less than $1,000. So we'll make the adjustments. I talked to Stacy today. Let's just go with it for now. We'll pick it up in like March and see where we are there as far as dollars. So
is it post trainings or it's all trainings across the board?
Well, the training like for the traffic unit, the training for that we're sent off Bosma to, that tripled. I mean, it's a lot of money now. But we need to get our officers trained. Obviously, next year's budget is going to reflect that increase.
Yeah.
So, but I just wanted to point that out. So, questions, comments, observations on the budget?
Yeah, on the budget summary, kind of minor, but looked like there was an ERP in the summary calculation. If we go to it.
A burp and what, Ed?
Instead of a number, it threw in the word value.
I have to,
yeah.
I have to refer to the author.
Pardon me?
I have to refer to the author.
Yes, sorry, I did not.
Yeah, as I said, it,
When I changed something, it must have changed.
okay. Well, it just, something with, I thought it was a glitch. You know, I didn't need to foot the numbers, you know, you can make the key determinations on a line item basis, but be good to have where we are summary. But it just reinforced, look at, Chief, what you said earlier. We spend a big chunk of this budget early in the year, and then the budget catches up to the committed expenses already. So hopefully no surprises.
Something else I wanted to add.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did also discuss the additional cameras
Yeah.
with Peggy and with Stace, and they asked, it was our finance director, Stacy Novitz. They asked that we do not ask for them, we're gonna provide for them through the small equipment fund. They're gonna pay for it out of there, and that would be the select woman's budget. So,
Small equipment. Did you just talk about a range of cameras, a range of expense? Where are you?
we talked, they asked for they asked what the additional cameras are needed. It's approximately 4 based on my discussion with the captains, and they're also calculating what the retaining of the information and these contracts that we have currently and the other ones, as far as servicing with utility communications. So they could pay that out of there. Generally, the threshold is up to 75. I know it's on the agenda for Tuesday out. Tuesday morning, we're discussing it. We're also discussing the increase to the social worker.
So what would be the timing of those, Chief?
Well, the good side of that, if they approve it, I could start right away. So, but they want to talk to the successes of them. Obviously, that accident with the pedestrian, the bicycles, and that raised a lot of how they actually, it's a good thing.
Well, as we talked last month, it was very unfortunate. On the other hand, when Captain went through the details on it, I mean, it absolutely reinforced this is why we need cameras, and this is the return on that investment.
Okay. One other thing is on the, I'm not going to IACP this year, so that money I'll put back on the training. I'll move it from my line to there. So it's almost $3,000. So.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
Not in the budget.
I just have one, which is more to, as we go into the budget year, how would you like to set up the participation of you folks, or is this some weekend hearings with the Board of Finance, Board of Selectmen? Well, other than a lot of the increases are gonna be based on contractual, or cost of services.
Why don't we do it, so that we are able to absolutely get involved in it and ingrained with it. Why don't you plan coming back to November, to have the off-Broadway, here's what
Worksheet?
here's what you plan to
Like
present.
maybe an interactive worksheet on the board, and
Yeah, and that way,
you like that in.
we'll have the month of November to discuss it, make any suggestions, or make sure we all understand it. And then I know in December or in January, it starts being presented to the Board of Selectmen. But I think it's very helpful if there are any issues, including resisting cuts if they start to come out as they've had in the past, to say, wait a minute, Board of Selectmen has discussed this, we understand it, we support it, so it's not the police chief's budget, it's the Board of Police Commissioners' budget. And, be in a position, if necessary, in January or February, whenever the Board of Finance discussions are, we can stand up and say, we've discussed this, offline, we've asked the chief to make some changes or get additional information, so we're just involved in it.
Well, I did sit down with Stacy Novitz and with Peggy the middle of last week, and we did discuss, she'd like to see it outside of contractual, as I stated, or some increase that we have no really control over, we use the service. She'd like to keep it as close to zero as she could. She talked about, where were they going with the negotiations, things to that effect. So I understand that. She said that equipment we can get out of the small equipment fund. As far as CIP, our cars are already, the next generation of cars are already budgeted. Where we're going with the radio system, that's already, they made budget money in that, in a 5-year plan. So we're okay. I think we'll be okay.
So, and the salary expense for the MSW, while we're supporting it or advocating for it, that's gonna end up with.
It's probably gonna end up
family-
over with Youth and Family Services.
Okay.
But again, it's kind of like our SROs are to
Yeah.
the school system, she is to us.
Okay.
But, and I think we could talk to that a little bit later. It's amazing what she's doing. She's cut down on the repeat. We have some households, a regular occurrence of issues, of incidents or episodes, and she's really done a great job of it. It's amazing.
Okay.
Okay, Doug, let's do the activity.
Okay, statistics for July, August, and September. Alarms, we were at 252 for the quarterly. Suspicious activity, 70 calls. Motor vehicle enforcement, 451. Criminal investigations, 101. General investigations, 566. Animal control, 93. Juvenile investigations, 16. Medical response, 358. Motor vehicle accidents, 85. Community services, 80. And miscellaneous calls for service, 796, totaling 2,868 for the months of July, August, and September.
Kevin, can I ask you a question? We have the statistics for the quarter of 25. I'm just looking at calls for services. When we compare those for the same statistics for the same period for 24, and we look at motor vehicle enforcement, in 24, it's 1564 for the quarter, and this quarter of 25 were 451. We've talked before about the impact of officers and vacancies on statistics, but is that the explanation why the statistics are somewhat lower in 25?
Yes, we have some vacancies. We got some people that I believe Rousseau and Raccio were still in the academy, and so there were less officers in the field at the time.
Okay. And I know we had some officers out on sick leave. But, I know we've really had some tension with the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance on our staffing requests. But this is an indication, if we have the level of staffing that we want and need, they have an impact on the safety of the community.
Yes, definitely.
And when we talk about this, including Chief, and I'm not getting out ahead of the budget process, but when we look at our overall staffing, this kind of says, with 2 vacancies, here's the impact. We're 40% of what we were a year ago.
Correct.
Anyway. Okay.
Thank you, Doug. Monthly training. In September 2025, we participated in 198 hours, bless you, 198 hours of training, included de-escalation, crash investigation, collect and recertification, of course, the monthly SWAT training. Additionally, in that, with de-escalation, I believe we're sending 2 people, including Maya, to the 40-hour CIT training, critical incident. So.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see, we have traffic. Doug?
Chief, you
Want
want
me
to,
You want me to get started on this?
on
or-
his training, or we could call Amy, or you want to do that?
What would you like?
Yeah.
Whichever one.
Why don't we, since we're talking, one of the things has been a practice that we've initiated with the chief is we really looked at training, including leadership training, as an investment. The chief, a number of years ago, participated in a extensive training program at Harvard. One of the things that he was alert to was asking him to come back and provide his assessment of the training. The environment, it's not show and tell day at school, but it's tell us your impression, positive or negative, of the training you went through, the kind of other participants, and kind of what you took away from this effort. And we've done that, same thing as you recall last year with Captain York in terms of the FBI Academy. Tell us about, your weeks at the FBI Academy. Captain Harkins went through similar leadership training, and one of the things we deferred getting feedback on him because of some scheduling issues, but we had asked Captain Harkins if he would give us kind of a summary assessment of his training experience, his leadership training experience at this meeting. So
what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, I don't know if you want me to or somebody else. Ed, do you want to call Amy and FaceTime her? Because I'm going to switch this off so she won't get
Sure.
Amy's cell.
yeah, I think if you guys so, we do this.
This is the reason why this room has that whole technology upgrade.
You want to go to PC?
I know, but I'm trying to.
Just hit cancel.
Do you have any? Do you have us?
That's okay?
Yeah, we can hear you okay?
Okay,
Thanks,
can
Alex.
you hit FaceTime so I can watch as well?
Yeah, I hit FaceTime.
There we go.
Okay,
There we go, thank you.
okay. I'm trying to think of how we can,
We could probably move
Why
on.
don't you give that to me, Ed, and I'll put the water bottle facing out.
okay. Got that?
Hello. Can you see that, or I have it the wrong way?
There you go.
No, I can't, stop jiggling.
Yeah.
Perfect. Senior Management Institute for Police.
Yeah,
This is part of the eye test.
right.
Okay, so far so good.
Move the wine glass a little bit to the, no, just saying. Okay,
Okay.
good. Captain.
Okay, so back in June, Chief Drum was nice enough to send me to training up at Boston University. This training was hosted by PERF, Police Executive Research Forum. And the class is Senior Management Institute for Police, also known as SMIP, okay? Okay. SMIP Reflections. Leadership roles and responsibility, networking, communication, media relations, technology, and impact and influence on the Madison Police Department. Okay, leadership roles and responsibility. Smith emphasized consistency, transparency, and accountability. Nick Saban once said, when you are the leader, you want to get the right people on the bus, get them in the right seats, and get the wrong people off the bus. Smith reinforced the importance of consistency when supervising officers and communicating with the public. As a leader, you want to make sure your goals and expectations are clear to your employees and all other stakeholders. It determined the need for transparency to foster credibility and trust within the department and with the community. If you're open and upfront with your officers, You'll foster trust within the organization. Okay? The same goes for the public. If you're open and honest with the public, they'll trust their police department. Next, they establish that command staff not only sets examples, but holds standards with fair, uniform consequences while communicating recognition for upholding these standards. As leaders, we set the standard. Holding ourselves as well as our officers accountable is important. We must recognize officers when they do a good job, and consistency and accountability leads to buy-in and improved attainment of department goals. Next is networking. So one of the big things they said at Smith about networking, about becoming a leader of your organization, is the kitchen cabinet. And what they mean by that is you should have an outside, unbiased advisor to serve as a sounding board during a critical decision-making process. So every chief should have a unbiased resource at their fingertips, almost to open a kitchen cabinet at home and be able to bounce some things off your colleagues. I think, so we spent a lot of time socializing and in class and in study groups forming a community. I think one huge takeaway for Smith was the networking. So the class had to have upwards to 100 students, but they were from all over the country. LAPD, one of my roommates, I had 3. I had one from Volusia County Sheriff's Department in Florida. I had a Santa Cruz Deputy Chief Sheriff out on the West Coast, and I had a chief from Birmingham PD in Michigan. Those were just my roommates, but the whole room is from all over the country. So you get to see other perspectives and talk about community policing issues that they're universal. So a lot of the same. There's some commonalities there and some differences. As I mentioned, we build a report of other command staff professionals for useful consultation and resources. And we shared struggles with recruitment and retention, and I could get into that. I don't want to hold you up, but recruitment and retention, everyone is experiencing that. Large agencies, West Coast, East Coast, North, South, Canada. Canada was in the class. And they're all doing what we're trying to do here in Madison. Their pensions, salary, educational reimbursement, wellness programs, paying for gym memberships. They're trying to get very creative and trying to attract people to the job. So it was nice to sit there and see that other people are having the same issues that we're having in the state of Connecticut and here in Madison, but they're all over the country, and we're all talking and trying to figure out ways to attract people to the job. Okay? The next is communication. During Smith, there was a universal understanding that in policing, communication isn't just talking, it is understanding, listening, and leading. Focus on consistency, accuracy, and focus. So they emphasize the necessity to examine issues through varying critical lenses and determine effective solutions. So what they're trying to say is that leaders need to understand from different lenses. That means your officers, your supervisors, your command staff, your police commission, your elected officials across the street, and the community. You can't just look at it as the leader and say, this is the way we're doing it, and that's the end of it. You have to look at everyone's perspective, and then you have a better idea on how to handle that problem. Okay? Oh, and another note, we had a class, this guy was a professor from the Harvard Business Kennedy School, was negotiating contracts. I wanted to just mention it. I had a position there, it was a quick version, it was a union that was dock workers. There were 2 separate docks that were fighting for the union. There was a contract dispute, and the municipality was involved because they had a vested interest. And I had an opportunity to be almost a mediator, if you will, and negotiate, be the go-between. And so they broke us down into groups. So we spent the entire day negotiating back and forth. Everyone had their role, what they could give up, what they would negotiate, what they wouldn't. And at the end of the day, they called everyone in, and they went through each group. And fortunately, we did come to a resolution. Some groups did not, but it was very interesting. He was an excellent professor. By the way, most of the professors were from MIT and Harvard. They were excellent. But it was a really good class. I got to take away some things from that class, like I mentioned, and just having negotiated or been an assistant negotiating the dispatcher's contract. And now I'm currently helping in negotiating the police contract. So it was a good class. Okay, discuss the need for clear, cohesive goals set and maintained by organizational leaders. So in media relations, in 2025, with the growing influence of social media, if you don't tell your story, someone else is going to. Okay, so media relations, messaging, information, and engagement. Okay? Review the police department's role in managing public perception when critical incidents become public information. When a major incident happens, you want to be open and transparent as possible, as soon as possible. It validated the urgency for accurate and transparent information for public safety. Doing so gets the department's message out there first. It prevents misinformation. And established the benefits of social media for community engagement and messaging. So the point behind that is you want the public to trust the police department's social media so much so that when something happens, whether it be a storm, a crime, something along those lines, an emergency, they're going right to your page, not surfing the social media app and then going to Madison. You want them coming right to Madison to get the facts right away. They trust you, you're credible, you're safe. Next is technology. Body cameras, drones, and artificial intelligence. So at Smith, we understood that technology doesn't make policing easier, it makes it smarter. So just to discuss body cameras, and the chief and I saw this at AACP last year. There's some innovation. So most departments throughout the country now wear body cameras. They now utilize body camera for report writing. Let me explain. So what happens is you'll go to a call, you'll have your body camera on, and when you're done with the call and your body camera is now downloading, the AI will generate a police report for the officer.
I just want to add to that, but they're required now that they want to see, when they go to trial, they want to see the officer's notes before they draft it with AI on a report. They do a comparative analysis, both the defense will.
So the AI isn't perfect with that. The officer still has to go in and add facts, but it really helps things. Drone technology. Oh, one more thing about body cameras, they also have a language translation. So if I come to a call and you're Spanish speaking only or whatever language you're speaking, you can hit a button and it will translate for you in real time the language so you know what's going on. Okay, so you don't have to wait for an officer that can speak the language and translate for you. Okay, so that's definitely an advancement. Examine the advancements in drone technology for surveillance, scene investigation, and evidence recovery. They show that there's drone technology that they can send to a hot call, meaning a dangerous call, and the drone can survey the area before the officers even get there. Scene investigation. I know our crash team and the Connecticut State Police has you can conduct crime scene investigation from above and get exact measurements of say in a crash and where everything is. It's excellent what they can do with them today. It really is. Review the role of artificial intelligence in crime mapping. So let's say you have a spike in your town or your city. AI can now go in there, crime map, and you can see where the spikes are so you can deploy your resources accordingly. So your combat, you're putting them where they need to be. And when I say providing efficiency tools, what I mean by that, it's not just report writing. We're talking search warrants, arrest warrants, risk protection orders, et cetera, et cetera. The benefits is this. As far as the IA for the AI for body camera technology is, you get the officer back into service sooner rather than having him sitting there for hours on end typing. And there are other officers out there that may struggle with some writing. Not everyone's a great writer. Some are fantastic and some are just okay. Everybody brings a different skill set. This levels the playing field. Okay? How does it impact the Madison Police Department? Okay, so professional connections. Networking, I've met a bunch of people, I have them on the phone, we talk, it's great. I think that's probably one of the beneficial thing about going. I know Jeremy had mentioned that about the NA. That's really good. Professional connections. Next, recruitment strategies, community outreach and messaging. We want to continue to get out to the high schools, local community college, state visits, state university visits. Like the chief said, I think that's coming up. We have a career fair we're already lined up for in Cromwell, Connecticut in November. So we're going to keep going down that road for recruitment strategies. We're also, from our end, going to try to come up with what can make this job more attractive. So we're working it from both ends. Okay, technology training. Basically, we want to give officers an opportunity to go out there, maybe get certified in drone technology, a drone operator, things like that, where we can offer that to our officers and stay up front on advances in AI and technology. Open conversations, departmental and public communications. You want to create opportunities for people to come to speak to the police. I mean, this is one forum, but there could be others, whether it be at Hand High School on a given night or Senior Center. If someone wants to come in and just talk to the police, maybe they have a concern, a question, have that open. And the same thing would apply for our officers. Chief Drum has an open door policy. I think that's a great idea. We could set aside a day where the officers can come in and they can voice things that are good, things that maybe we can improve on, things along those lines. Okay, so open conversations. Lastly, social media outreach. Building social media platforms. Right now we have a Facebook platform. We've noticed it's kind of goes towards targets an older audience. We want to see if we can attach a younger audience. I know we have Instagram, but there's TikTok, there's Yik Yak, there's different apps out there. I've already spoken to Officer LaChance. She's going to be researching that so that we can target a younger audience to keep them, and not just doing that, not just from a recruitment standpoint, but just to let them know what their police department's doing. And also, you can have platforms like See Something, Say Something, Lock It or Lose It. You can kind of get those things out there for the younger generation to see. Also, a tip page. I know we have an email, not an email. We have an email currently, but they use the younger generation. They know what's going on sometimes as far as crime's concerned, or maybe they have concern and they don't want to come forward. I want to set something up where maybe they can DM us and say, hey, this is what's going on, or maybe they want to inquire about the job. But I think that outreach for that might be a good idea. So that's it. And I want to thank Chief Trump for sending me. I appreciate it. Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, listen, you have the support of the commission. So did you read Good to Great, Jim Collins' book? That's where that put the right people on the right seat on the bus, get the people that don't belong there off.
I did read that. That's Nick Saban, the famous coach from the Alabama football team.
In Good to Great, he talks about change management. What he does, he goes into depth of essentially from all levels. Very good.
Great, that was,
Thank you, that was really interesting.
that was extremely helpful. Let me just press you a little bit, Doug. So, I know sometimes when you go to a program, that if you come away with 2 or 3 ideas that you don't have to really think about, they just resonate in terms of your environment when you go out of the classroom back to wherever you're from. So if you think about what is certainly at the top of our list many times, and that's the recruiting area. Were there any things that other departments were doing, and I'm not talking just on the economic side, but were any things that other departments were doing that we hadn't fully considered or embraced, whether it's job fairs, radio advertising? I mean, anything that you initially said, I'm not sure that would work for us, and then here's someone else that's saying, hey, we're reaching some people that we ordinarily wouldn't have reached with this.
There were some departments that had some success in the cadet program. You're engaging the youth, like I mentioned before. They are, they're with their department even in high school, and they're exploring the idea of policing as a profession. So they've had some success there.
Yeah. We had an Explorer program.
Years ago, yeah.
It's
Years
similar,
ago.
very
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Well, look, you know, and the chief shared this with his experience. You know, the idea for you or the chief in his situation, to pick up the phone and call someone
Yes.
that you met there and respect, and you're not asking them a favor necessarily, but you're just touching base. We were in the program 4 months ago. Here's
Yes.
what's going on here. How are things going there?
Yes.
You know, that
Yeah,
is
that's,
something-
I think that was a really good part, because you have to remember, it's, so you're up at 6:30 in the morning, or 6 o'clock in the morning, we would go next door to the facility to exercise. You had to be it was a 20-minute walk to the classroom.
Okay.
There was another 15 minutes to go to the cafeteria. But the interesting part was, you had to be there at 8 AM, because you had to meet with your study group, because every night you have reading to do. So you have to converse with your study group, and then go to class prepared, because they'll call on you and they'll want to know, you know, so that's the type, so it was very, then you're in class from 8:30 till 4:30 to 4:45 at night. And then you had a quick chance to eat dinner, and then you had to go back and start your reading again. If you wanted to be up the next day bright and early to make sure you're on time for your study group. It was pretty intensive during the week. It really was.
Was it just 1 week?
What's
How
that?
long, what was the duration you were there for?
3 weeks, sir.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. But Boston University is a beautiful college. It's a beautiful university, and downtown Boston was beautiful. As far as we talked about social life, we had an opportunity to bond we went to a Red Sox game, and you were able to go out to dinner with your colleagues out at in the north end of Boston, and there was a liaison from Boston Police Department that was kind of showing us around where to go, and very nice. It was a really good training. I definitely recommend it. Very fortunate to go. Thank you.
Great. You know, one of the things, the chief, Tom, maybe you've got better memory, but I think when you started to emphasize the introduction of body cameras, I think it was maybe 2012, but we were.
Started that when I got here.
Yeah.
Actually, we went
Yeah.
before.
Right, but we were, at that point, sometimes it felt, in terms of the reaction of other departments, the first wagon train going across the west, because my recollection was some department said, oh, we don't want any of that stuff. And it turns out, fast forward 10 years, it's all of a sudden a core part of the equipment an officer has. So, whether it ends up being with drones or the kind of cameras you put in the police vehicles now, I just think, we've been fortunate to have the support of the town when we made these requests. I just think we've got to stay alert and make the requests, earlier rather than later. As I said, we may not be able to get all the staff we need, but to say whether it's, cameras that are movable and, to pick up, it's just something we should be doing. But that was very helpful, Captain. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's where we're at.
Traffic.
Traffic? So that's right.
In September, the Madison Police Department responded to a total of 21 motor vehicle accidents. Of these, 4 resulted in injuries. 11 accidents involved property damage only, while another 3 occurred on private property. Additionally, 3 of these incidents involved a party evading responsibility. There were no fatal accidents. The primary cause of these accidents was following too closely, failure to drive in proper lane, and unsafe backing.
Want to go right to recruitment? We want to go right to recruitment?
So
I know we
yes,
talked about it.
Yes, so I mentioned it earlier, so part of our recruitment, so I found a career fair out in Middlesex County. The Chamber of Commerce is hosting one at the Courtyard Marriott on November 5th. So we are slated to go there, and hopefully we get some prospects. As Chief mentioned, the career fair for police at the academy, sir, is that correct? The post academy, that got
Yeah,
canceled.
they postponed
so-
that because there's a
Yeah.
reorganization going on.
Right.
Academy.
So,
So, when we go to the fair, a call from Captain York, we normally set up a table with booth brochures, et cetera. You know, embracing there's always a better way. Is there anything else, you know, we might do when we set it up? I mean, is there any handout we could give them, any introduction, you know, including, don't faint. Here is the police chief's number. If you want to talk about Madison, call the police chief. I mean, that's exaggeration.
No, I did that with
Yeah.
you, and
No, but
I got the calls.
Yeah.
We actually, we're pricing out a backdrop. You see in a major marketing, and then with the video that constantly runs and things that we do. I think the video they use, did you see the video that they use for the police memorial for the award?
I sent it via text.
Yes, it was
Yes.
really good.
So we're thinking of running that
Mhm.
in the background with images of the police department, which is the backdrop, and then the table set up in front. So something that will attract, you know, as people, you know, and I noticed that a lot of the departments are going into what we actually have operational now. And they talk to what is required, and they talk about education and other stuff. So we're gonna turn it up.
Well, I mean, you know, it's the trailer, give us your Gmail, give us your email account, and we'll send you a 4-minute highlight film of the Madison Police Department. Well, as you would imagine, if you're recruiting for this area, at some point, we'll show you the surf club beach. We'll show you here's the equipment we have. You know, we'll show you the kind of training effort we have. I mean, I think, given what we've done with social media, we have some pretty talented individuals in here who, if you said, we want a 5-minute video that we can email to any interested applicant, and we're willing to have professional come in and lay down the right soundtrack and that it, but hey, we're in the recruitment business. If you're a 4-star athlete and you're visiting UConn, you're getting more than a brochure. And so we just, you know, again, I'm waving the flag here, but we just need to have a little bit of this. Why not? Why wouldn't we do that? You know, we've got some officers, you know, you and Doug you and Jeremy have, you know, connected with some pretty capable individuals, but you gotta get them that 6 minutes to kind of listen to you, and right now, they don't necessarily have it. So anyway, give it some thought, if you would. Sure. Okay.
yeah.
Can I ask a couple questions about that? What, are there gonna be other police agencies at the career fair? Do you know?
I don't know. So it was all via
I
email?
have to-
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead,
I
sir.
have to believe Middletown's gonna be there full
Yeah,
force.
So I do know that there was a box to check for law enforcement or security, so I
Okay.
would imagine that there is a law enforcement presence there.
Yeah.
I just don't know which agencies.
Yeah. No, I was just curious, and obviously somebody can walk around and kind of see what the other guys are doing,
Sure.
right? You know, pick up
Yeah.
some tips
Yeah.
if they are doing something better. What is the follow-up? So if somebody says, signs, you know, fills out a sign-up sheet or whatever, What's the follow-up that you guys do with those?
So the
groups?
recruitment team's gonna go there, they're already slated to go, they're ready to go. We will set up our table, if someone shows some interest, they'll take their information.
Yeah.
It'll go to Captain York and myself, and we will reach out to set up an interview rather quickly.
Okay,
So we move on that quick.
you go straight to interview, basically, that's the follow-up.
Well, we encourage them to take the test.
We encourage them to take the test, that's true. We have-
Okay,
we have-
okay.
Regional test.
So, but we try to stay in touch with them.
Yeah,
We let
to
them
get
know the next,
follow-up.
the next test is.
Yeah,
But we try to get them in as soon as we can, as soon as those scores come out,
yeah,
so that we can interview them before someone else does,
yep.
you know?
I wonder, just throwing this idea out there, to your point about showing off Madison, like, even before they take a test, say, we'd like to invite you down to Madison, come tour our facility,
Right.
and drive them around town, like, you know, as long as it doesn't impact, obviously, resources. But come for a visit
Come for a
on
visit.
us, give them a donut, and, you know, and then say, now here, take the test, and we'll
Give
see
them a
you on the
donut.
other side.
You just said that, Commissioner.
To the public.
Take her AV card.
I like donuts, it's coming from me, I like donuts.
Yeah,
When you're
Cohen's
working,
Bagels.
Yeah, Cohen's Bagels.
when you're working a show like this, you have a table with all the material, and you have chairs for someone to sit behind?
Yes.
Does somebody stand in the aisle and work the aisle?
Yes, they're up, we're trying to get people to come over.
Right.
That's the way we've been doing it.
Okay, because, you know, I've just little experience over the years working trade shows, and it's interesting to watch, if you go by a presentation where people are sitting down, they'll walk right by and pick up a pencil or a pack of gum. But if you have somebody in the aisle stopping people, or if they momentarily pause, get right in their face and say, how can I help you, got a couple of questions?
Exactly, you know, where we do that, we do that, and we have done in the past at police examinations. So South Central Criminal Justice will host a police examination. We'll have a table right outside the test. So the minute they walk out, they see Madison PD. So our guys, come on over here, let me talk to you for a minute. And that's how we start. Now, they're obviously there to be a police officer. Now, that when the first officer that you see when they come out of the test is a Madison police officer. So, you know, we grab them when we can, and we try to set up, we try to stay in contact, get their information, see if they're interested in Madison, try to sell it, and follow up from there.
Do you have any kind of a little giveaway, a business card, or any kind of a knick-knack that has a phone number and a name on it?
Yes.
Because even if they hesitate, make sure they've got one.
Yes.
The problem is the innovative that we have, other departments have said, damn them, and they're showing up now at the exams. What happens when they take an exam, they register, they also check off what departments that they may have an interest in. So those scores go to them right, as soon as they score the exam, they get them in emails. So for us, and to Jeremy's credit, he dashes to get, and the captains to get a hold of these individuals and invite them in.
Yeah,
Especially those that are score preferably higher, and we look at those with degrees and things like that. So, and because of that, that's why I have so many people that finish 1 and 2 in their class.
yeah,
So,
Okay.
great,
I would beseech you to look at the video.
Yeah.
And that was sent to you, because they did a great job with
It
it.
really is good.
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Community calendar. No, community calendar. Let me see, it was a busy month in September, right? We had the Closer to Free Ride, Dave Purcell's Triathlon, and the Madison Pride Fest. The races went well. As Mike, Commissioner Carano, you want to comment on how well the Pride Fest went, or?
Certainly. It was a great event. We had probably 90+ vendors. We had a significant amount of the public there. I was very grateful that there was really no issues posted online beforehand. It was a really good event. Dare I say it was one of Madison's best events, but I could plan a party. But it was really good, and it was kind of sad. I felt bad. Our vendors had taken over the edge of the green where I was hoping that we would have a cruiser posted, but by the time everything was filled in and the street was lined with the vendors. I wasn't able to really move anybody, but it was great.
Look it out in front next year. We're trunk or treat is the end of the month, the turkey trot in November, and of course the holiday parade. That's what we have on the calendar.
Okay.
Okay, regional services. All right, the discussion right now is the approach to a regional dispatch center and the discussion of it. The service chiefs that met with First Select Woman, some discussion was given that they're going, the next step's going to be is that we're inviting Rick Darren, who controls the director of the Valley Shore Regional Dispatch Center, they're looking for a new facility. We're going to do a tour of the Arts Barn as one of the facilities with the service chiefs and members of our department. At that point, we're going to have a discussion with the selectmen, and we're also going to have a discussion with the state of Connecticut as to what actually is, what is the advantage of the regionalization, what is the cost analysis, what are they going to put on the table essentially. It's been really not clear. The gentleman that ran it for years, Billy Yule, has retired. The young lady was taken over. The verbiage in the statute versus what we're being told is different. So right now, through Senator Cohen's office, they're asking legislative research to interpret that for us, and then we'd like to sit down with the Commissioner of Public Safety and those that run OSET and find out exactly, with all the stakeholders, what exactly is the advantage of the regionalization, 1, 2, or 3 agencies with different 911 centers. So that's where it's at this point, but it's moving along.
So, tell me, so a meeting is set with the director of Valley Shore, who's going to be
He's
meeting.
being invited to meet with
yourself and the
service chiefs,
service chiefs,
the some of the other departments that are, I believe Guilford and Clinton, and that they're going to be invited, and then they'll set a date and meet with the director from Valley Shore to have a discussion and just to show some of the what we have here that's available currently.
And that's just going to be with the first selectman and the chiefs, yourself, and then the individuals, same individuals from Guilford and where else? Clinton?
Yeah, our regional partners.
So where do you think the timing is going to be?
We talked to her this morning. She's going to make that invite.
Okay.
But my suggestion was going after that step. If everybody says it's good, we should look into it, and then take it to the next level. State of Connecticut, please tell us what it is. You know, I'll give you an example. We paid when we started with the hardware on the state backbone was basically a little over $12,000 a year. Now it's $120. 10 years later. We can imagine where it's going to go. Multiply that time, which is 3 agencies. Use that as an example. That's their expense. If that were to, if there ever was a conversion to one facility. So, bless you. So if they, I think that if we decide it's worth taking a look, and that's what it looks like, that people want to, let's have the discussion. Next is, because there was some confusion when the representative from OSA came down, and it was contradictory almost to the language that's in the statute. And they also came out recently passed where they want research on it. They're making it a requirement for research. So we just want the interpretation from OLM to tell OLR, excuse me, to tell us what do we get for doing this? You know, because the way it was told us initially, Ed, you were in that meeting, it was X amount of dollars per agency that had a 911 center. There was the hardware, there was the annual maintenance, there was the equipment, there was 40% labor, 100% for building. But apparently that was the latest conversation they had this year so far. So we want to know what it is. And rightfully so. I think that all the chiefs and all the stakeholders really need to know that.
You can't make a decision without it.
Yeah.
Is it worth the journey? Now
Somebody-
recently, we know Fairfield and Westport did it, also Simsbury and Farmington, most recently. And we're also maybe a field trip up there to see what they have.
Okay, good. Sounds like it's moving. Not racing, but moving. So, okay, correspondence. Any,
So, I don't, a couple emails on traffic issues, which we move quickly with. One involved, one was asking where is her sign on Green Hill? She had a discussion here with a group of neighbors that had come in. I said, well, the sign was put up. It's in the Killican side of Green Hill when you come down before the curve. That was where it was placed, and that was 3 years ago. She was asking, like, why we haven't done it? I said, we have done it. We can't place it on the curb. So that was very quick. The other was traffic complaints, which we rectified. Gull Rock seems to be some of the neighbors there are very insistent. They're anxious. They want to see some sort of traffic there. We had it evaluated by the town engineer. There isn't much they can do. They're going to be doing construction and paving there, finishing the water company work. So at that point, that'd be our opportunity, the margin of opportunity to do some sort of traffic enhancement there. Whether it be raised, whether, some sort of pavement. So that's where it stands. I can't do it fast enough for these folks, and it's actually in the hands of the selectmen and the town and the engineering.
There's no room to negotiate in Gull Rock on the road. How,
Precisely.
yeah, I mean, there's nothing there. How that damn sidewalk got put in like that in the first place is a question.
You have federal dollars that rebuilt that area. There's a lot of requirements that go with that. So, I mean, you have historic wall. There's other things. I mean, so you just have to find a balance to make it happen. I understand wholeheartedly what they feel and what other people feel and what people don't see. We climb in the balcony, we look down, we see that, yes, there could be. But there's a lot of areas in town, we also have that. We can only do so much with the tools we have. We try to mitigate as much as we can. I know they're getting a little bit impatient on this, and I can understand why, but we're trying to work our way through it. And I know that one of the biggest things is that Connecticut Water Company and B&O went in and paved as much as they could before the summer. Now they picked up again, because they're doing east work. But a lot of that was rough. I mean, that road was pretty rocky, Middle Beach Road, if you went down during the summer. So they're gonna be fixing that. And once again, when it slows down, and it is now, and use whatever weather they have to get as much done as they can and get that road paved and put the proper markings in. If we can enhance that, we will, the best we can, with whatever technology is available. I think inevitably we're gonna have to look at, not speed bumps, maybe speed humps, maybe change crosswalks within the pattern, things like that, for traffic calming. But it's also, we hear that from, with people, I know that we talk about pedestrian, bicycle safety. Every one of those issues they had all relates back to Route 1, which we don't have the control of Route 1, so we still wait patiently for enhancements there. So, anyway, we're aware of it, we work on it the best we can, we wait for the proper authority, which is the state, to say it's a go-ahead.
okay. New business, anything we should be tuned into it, Chief?
I think we've covered most of it. I think a brief executive session, just for, I don't know if you had set up for that.
No.
Just give you an update on the union and the negotiations.
Okay, we hadn't scheduled
We
it.
scheduled them, we removed it when the meeting that was supposed to take place the other day was canceled.
So can we defer till next month?
Whatever you like to do.
Yeah, because we didn't put it on, I don't wanna get us in trouble with the freedom of information, so at this point, we don't have an executive session scheduled.
Ed, you can always vote to amend the agenda if you wish, and add it. Sounds like there's nothing to add.
Yeah, well, Chief, yeah, certainly if you've got some comments, it'd be helpful to make for the in an executive session regarding the negotiations. I think we'd like to hear them, if you think they're.
I just say
Timeline.
they met one other time, and I could explain it to you within the executive session.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we is there a recommendation to
There's a motion to amend the
Amend the-
meeting to have an executive
Session
session that was
based
not
on-
on the agenda.
right, based on information that just has become available?
regards to collective bargaining.
Right.
At 18:31.
Yes, I so move.
Okay. All in favor, all
All right.
opposed?
I,
So we'll amend it. So, Amy, can you I'll call you back again in 30 seconds, okay? Okay.
I'm gonna turn that
Any
off.
Right,
comments?
so, before we go in, is there any commissioner comments?
No?
no, thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say thank you to the department for investing in the leadership, in Doug Harkinson's opportunity to go to BU to this, and it was, thank you very much for your feedback. It was fascinating.
All right, good. I'll echo that, it's very helpful. I think there's also kind of good news, bad news. Now that you've made the, provide us with the assessment, you know, just would urge you to also embrace train the trainers. So you've got, you know, another leadership level below you in terms of lieutenants and sergeants. And, you know, please give some thought to say, okay, how do I start to reinforce to them? Because undoubtedly, hopefully in the future, we're gonna send additional capable officers this kind of training. But, you know, the idea that this is the way we approach it, you know, I think you really can add to the culture of the whole department. So again, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, we are now in executive session.